Yo, JPZ. I'm gonna tell you why I do this, okay? One hitter quitter. I was endowed by God, the universe, my parents, my life, the circumstances, everything, with a certain understanding, a certain realistic assessment of the world and all of its machinations, and a certain capacity to do this. And those who can must. To those who much is given, right? Or of those to whom much is given, much is required. And people are like, oh, JP, that's a wild that you would think that way, because you weren't given like a silver spoon or any shit like that. No, absolutely not. But I was given, that's the thing, right? I was given so much more. I was given so much more, people. Like, yes, I grew up blue collar, working class, okay? Yes, like, I worked my ass off. I did a lot of manual labor, okay? I had to really scrape by to get here. And it's still not easy, people. It's still not easy. Because I don't take any dirty fucking money. I don't take any of it. I don't want it. I don't want that weight on my conscience, on my soul. Because people have soul weight. All right? People have soul weight. Like, the dirty shit you do, the people you work over, the weak people who you hurt, the people who you trample on, the times where you say, oh, I'm going to make this decision because it's convenient when it's not the right thing to do, all of that shit, that carries weight, right? That carries weight. People say, oh, well, JP, but you fucked some people up. Not a damn person who didn't deserve it. Not a damn person who didn't deserve it. But I was given a lot. I was given a lot. By God, by my parents, my life, right? The struggles, the trials, the tribulations, the ups and downs. But you know what? I learned how to be capable, how to be competent, how to be resilient, to care about things, to fight for what you believe in, to go out and really make it count, because this is not a dress rehearsal. I got no weight on my soul, people. I got no dirt on my soul. Like, I'm 100. I'm good. I'm good. I really am. I stand on what I do with my life. I stand on what I do with my career. I stand on what I have done in my career. If I die tomorrow, it will be sad, but you can look at what I did with my career and be like, guys, about it. And that goes to everybody, right? People want to talk shit, my adversaries, right? People want to comment on my LinkedIn post and be like, what do you do when a court grants summary judgment against you? What do I do? Go to the appellate court. That's what I do, right? What am I gonna do? Same thing I did, right? Go back 10 plus years ago, the non-compete space, right? When I started doing non-compete cases, trial courts throughout Florida, both state and federal, were routinely misapplying the case law. They looked at me like I was a crazy person when I would talk about legitimate business interest and antitrust, and I would actually get into the weeds, right? Substantial client relationship. What does that mean? Here's the test. I wrote the test. The test for a substantial customer relationship under Florida law is best articulated in a case named IDM versus Bafali. That's a case that I won. The order that the court entered was a proposed order that I submitted, where I created a test for, here's how you have to evaluate if there's a substantial customer relationship. Can I cook? Can I cook? So it's the same thing that I did before. Now I just do it in the discrimination retaliation cases. And at first I was initially like, this is gonna be easier, because the non-compete stuff, that's a different level of what's called judicial discretion, right? Judges have more leeway, right? More flexibility in how they can rule. The non-compete stuff it's de novo, right? It means reviewed fresh slate. Like the trial court throws out your discrimination and retaliation case, it goes up to the appellate court, and the appellate court gets to look at it with a clean set of eyes and say, nope, here's what you should have done, right? As opposed to in the non-compete context, the appellate court looks at it and says, was that within sort of the realm of what's reasonable, right? It could go either way. Was what the judge did really bonkers, right? So we're in a different standard here, and nonetheless, road may be rocky, won't be rocky long, rough side of the mountain, but I've been up rough mountains before. It ain't no thing. I do this because I want to do this. When I got out of college at Cornell and I was teaching high school in Baltimore City, I used to tell my kids, I'm here because I want to be here. I don't have to be here. I could be anywhere else, but I want to be here. I choose to be here with you in Southwest Baltimore City, at this high school, in this classroom. I chose to be here, and I choose to be here every fucking day. And some of my kids really got it. Some of my kids were like, they knew. I even had kids come up to me after the fact, the next couple days, weeks, and say, Mr. P, I thought about that, and like, that's some real shit. Like that made a lot of sense. Like most of these teachers, they don't want to be here. They have to be here. They hate being here. But like you come in here every day, and it's like you want to be here. Why would you want to be here? I had no one else to send. So I sent myself. But it's not just myself. That's the thing. Like these days, no, like we have a law firm, we have a whole squad of us. But it's also never just been myself, right? I had nobody else to send, I sent myself, but it wasn't just myself because I'm backed by all of like the people I love, the people who love me, my ancestors, the universe. I'm backed by all of this shit. So I'm gonna do this discrimination, retaliation, sexual harassment, sexual assault thing. I'm gonna do this. And I'm going to prove all sorts of aspects of how the legal system is dysfunctional. And I'm going to prove that these cases are worth a lot more money than anybody thinks they are. I'm going to prove that there are a whole bunch of settlement mills that just settle plaintiff side employment cases cheaply. And I'm not talking about cases that are bullshit cases, because if it's a bullshit case, then you better settle for whatever you can get. I'm talking about real cases, settlement mills that plaintiff side employment lawyers settle these cases. It's a real case. It's a case I say is worth $250,000, $300,000, $400,000. They settle that case for $40,000 and say, hey, I didn't have to do any work and made a quick buck. That's a real problem. The problems are on both sides, right? You get shady defendants. They lie, cheat, destroy evidence, hold back evidence, don't follow the rules, frequently get a pass on it, right? All this stuff, okay? I'm gonna prove all this stuff out and show that these cases are worth a ton of money. This is what I consider sport, right? Like I wouldn't do something with my career unless I thought it was sporting. And I know that pisses some people off, right? Because there's a lot of folks who are miserable. They hate what they do. They're not about it. Bro, I am about what I do. I am about what I do so hard. I am so lit every day to do what I do. I am so good at it. My squad is so good at what we do. It is so much fun, even when it's hard, even when it's stressful. So this is my mission. This is the path that I'm marching on. And I'm so privileged to be able to do this, right? I was thinking about so my parents, there's grandparents, great-grandparents, right? You got people working in a steel mill, late 1800s, pillar of the community, working at a steel mill, working his ass off. So on one side, so it's a black man, Harrisburg, thereabouts. To do all that he did, right? I frequently think about that. I think about my ancestors and my forefathers and foremothers and the things that these people did, like on both sides. Like on my mom's side, they came from Germany, dirt poor, and were immigrants and farmers, and they survived, But I think about all this and about all the people who sacrificed and all of the little pieces that had to fall into this exact spot, like down to an atomic level, right? Think about that. Think about that in your fucking life, okay? All of this. Think about how billions upon billions, trillions of different facts and circumstances and molecules had to align for us to just get to the miraculousness of being right the fuck here, right now. Think about that. Think about that. Every one of us is basically a walking fucking miracle. For real. And so when I look at my life and I look at my work and sort of what I do, my cause, my calling in life, my mission, when I look at that, and I think this way, and people are like, man, Pollard he's just a crazy person. He is just out there philosophically. I don't think so. Because I think it makes so much sense. When I think about all of it, like in the vast scheme of things, how it kind of all just like came together, like right here. That's why I feel so in sync with my mission in life and with the work I do, and why I care so much about it, and why I am so about it every day. But I'll tell you why I'm doing this. I'm not just doing it for that. There's levels to everything, right? Like I'm doing it for that, yes, absolutely. But there's always a greater purpose. At a certain point, I'm gonna get so much money, and I'm gonna have so much damn money. I'm gonna take that money and I'm gonna build a public boarding school for poor kids. And I'm not Milton Hershey, okay? I don't got that kind of money. But I can do this. Ever since I was a high school teacher in Baltimore City, I would think to myself, this is not the way. Like there has to be a better model. We have to take these kids who have nothing and they have no one and they have nowhere to go. Like we have to give them a safe place to be with people who like love and care about them and can like work with them through everything, right? Because they started, right? So many of them started in such, dire circumstances and situations. You had to kind of heal them up and then prepare them to go out into the world. So we have to do a public boarding school, and that's not an urban rural thing. Like, they need it everywhere, right? Like, my hometown in Pennsylvania, they got trailer parks outside of town, you know, where kids are growing up in those circumstances, you know. So it's in the country, it's in rural USA just as much as it's in Baltimore City, you know. Like, poor kids from environments or homes that are really bad, abusive, terrible poverty, or no home at all, and they're just living on the street. You'd be surprised how many kids are in high school and actually homeless. It breaks my fucking heart. And people think I want the money. They think I want the money for myself. What am I gonna do with the fucking money? What am I doing with the money? What do I need? You only need so much, you know? You only need so much. I'm a simple man. I don't need any fancy shit. I'm good, you know? I just need the people I love and care about, and a little bit of land, and the ability to, like, lift some weights and take a hike and, you know, relax, barbecue, mow my grass. I don't need any big shit. I don't need any fancy shit. I don't need to impress anybody. I already impressed myself. And I was the hardest person to ever impress, but I already done it. I already impressed myself. I'm good. And that's not in like a toxic ego sort of way. That's in like a real fucking ego sort of way. Like, I'm good. I don't need to prove shit to anybody. So I don't need all this money. I have a little bit of it, yeah, set aside so I can be okay and get by. But I don't need anything big and fancy. And besides, whatever I might want or need, the need of those kids who need that damn school outweighs whatever the hell I would want. And yes, as a matter of fact, and a lot of people are going to disagree with this, but as between leave a huge sum of money to my children, or put the huge sum of money into a public boarding school for poor kids, just going to the public boarding school. It's the best, highest use. They're gonna live on campus, it's gonna be residential. We'll have nurses, social workers, child psychologists, house parents, and we're never gonna close. I mean, never throughout the year, right? We're not gonna be like, oh, it's Christmas, we're closed, go home. Can't fucking do that. A lot of those kids don't have anywhere to go, right? So we're just always gonna be open. You get 2 weeks off in the summer, you go home. You get 2 weeks off in the winter, you go home. But you don't have to, you can just stay there. There'll be people there. Shit, when I'm old, I'll be there. I'll be there. I'll be there Christmas. I'll have my Christmases there. I'll be like, we have Christmas at the school with these kids, because they are all of our kids. And we're all in this together. So that's why I'm doing this shit. Be easy.